Pontiac Silverdome, Advanced Video Service presents the Class AA Championship game in the 1993 Michigan High School Athletic Association football playoffs between the Tractors of Dearborn, Fordson, and the Rockets of Westland John Glenn. Welcome, everybody. I'm Mark Crawford, joined as always by my friend, the old coach, Bill Brandell. You look down across the Silverdome, moments away from what ought to be a terrific AA state championship game between two ball clubs that are perhaps a bit of a surprise here in the finals. Our officials working this ball game very quickly for you. Robert Barham, our referee, along with Walks, Bruce Barham, Tom Nauta, and Jack Koenig. Bill Brandell, perhaps a surprise, as I said, for both of these clubs here in the finals.
Well, I think it is a surprise, Mark. Both of these teams, I think when this championship series started, when the playoffs started, I don't think you would have picked these two teams to be here in the finals. Fordson was the fourth place qualifier in their region, number 3, and they had to wait until the results were all in on that final Friday in order to know actually whether they were going to be here or whether Catholic Central was going to be here. John Glenn ranked number 7 listings all year long. They were a number 1 qualifier in their region, but I don't think they were a team that the state people around in the football circles would have considered a championship finalist.
Well, the big cheer from the Dearborn crowd in front of us as their club, the Tractors of Fordson, charge onto the field. Bill, very quickly, what kind of football game we're going to see here? Basically, we expect anyway, run, power football.
Well, exactly. Both of these teams want to run the ball. They don't make any secret about it. Fordson has that huge front line, Mark, and they're not just big people that stand around. They are weightlifters. We heard some statistics about some of the bench pressing they can do and so on. There are some real athletes up there and probably quite a few college players. Glenn, on the other hand, not quite so large, but they're not small either. They've got big size athletes up there, range around the 220-pound mark and around 6'1", 6 foot tall. So those are fine-looking athletes also. So this is a game going to be won up front by the two lines. Both teams want to pound it right at you. It's just which one is going to be able to do it today.
John Glenn won the coin toss before this football game. They have deferred their choice to the second half. And so the Tractors here in the first half have the choice, and they will receive. The Tractors in the blue and gold, and Westland John Glenn, their colors red, white, and blue. The Rockets of John Glenn will boot it away.
Well, we have a huge crowd, Mark, and a colorful game for folks. This ought to be a lot of fun. Two solid football teams, lots of great athletes on the field, two teams that really had to work their way into this final game, and they're pumped up today. They deserve to be here. They've worked hard. Great athletes, a great season so far, and this will bring it to a close.
Well, our first snafu of the broadcast, Glenn has number 16 back to kick, and we don't have a 16 on our roster. In any case, the Rockets, out of the Western Lakes Athletic Association, will boot it away and get us underway. Class AA state championship game, and there's going to be some noise here in the Silverdome today. Low liner will bounce at the 10, off the official, fielded at about the 2-yard line. Ali Saad across the 20, and near the 30-yard line with it, where the Tractors of Fordson will start. 1st and 10. Don't see a ball bounce off the official like that too often. Probably was headed into the end zone, an automatic touchback, but stays on the field of play. Here's the Fordson offensive unit. Big number 66, Charles Wilson, 285 pounds at a tackle. They like to run behind him. And in the backfield, Ali Saad, who just returned the kick, had 100 yards in the game last week. Ali Bearcat, the senior, leads them out. He's the quarterback, double tight end and little wing to the right. Keeps it himself, finds a hole in the defense, forward for about 9 yards. Jake Henry, the safety, makes the tackle for the Rockets of John Glenn. Big gain of 9 yards on 1st down.
Well, a bit of a surprise opening up offensively with the quarterback sneak. Goes for 9 yards.
There's the Glenn defensive unit. The Bescos at the defensive end spots. Cosby is the leading tackler for the Rockets. And the officials will measure. We are just underway at the Silverdome. It is a first down. Ali Bearcat, the senior quarterback, saw a little something in the defense, Bill, and just decided to take it forward himself.
Well, there was a big gap in there as the nose man for John Glenn had moved over to one side of the center. And as you said, Mark, Ali Bearcat spotting that seam there, and of course knew he was all the way to the linebacker just with one step.
First and 10 Tractors. They'll try the big fullback Byers off left side. Byers is listed at 6'2", 238. Some of the Fordson people tell us he's closer to 260.
Well, we've been talking about the front wall for Fordson, and now you get into the backfield, Mark, and as you say, he's listed at 238, well over that, says some of the folks that visited with us before this game started. He's got some good size, I'll tell you that.
Tractors work in the middle so far. Second down 5. This time they'll go right side. Saad is caught from behind and dragged down. Jeremy Crosby, number 45. Crosby, the leading tackler on this John Glenn Ball Club, makes the stop. It'll be 3rd and 5. We have identified the kicker for Glenn. Steve Hewer, who was listed wearing number 4, is wearing number 16. We'll talk about Hewer later on. He missed much of the year with a broken collarbone. 3rd down 5. Short side of the field, Ali Saad, and he won't get there.
Once again, down on the bottom of the pile, Jeremy Cosby, Jim Tennant in there to help out from a defensive tackle spot. Good pursuit as far as the defense was concerned, Mark. A pitch play coming to the outside for the Tractors. Watch the Glenn defenders slide over and get out in front of the ball carrier, hold him from that first down. Brings up a 4th and 1.
Ali Bearcat, who is also the quarterback, will stand in punt formation. Interesting play calls by Fordson, Bill, as they had great success up the middle and then opted to try and test the outside a little bit. Most teams have found the going very tough outside against the Besco twins. Punt is fielded at about the 22 or 23-yard line by Matt Houghton. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Glenn. It was Matt Houghton who had the broken collarbone, wasn't it? Not Steve Hewer.
Right. Matt Houghton electing to fair catch that first punt by Ali Bearcat. A high floater, just the kind of kick you'd like to get. Let your coverage men get down and get under it.
And you got to look at the Rocket offensive group. Ryan Morrison, number 6, the senior quarterback. Among the walking wounded for the Rockets as they're banged up. So's Fordson. There's Tark Horn, who banged up a knee last week. Going north and south, they say he's fine, but has a little trouble cutting. And he'll manage to pick up 5-6 yards off right side. It'll be 2nd down and about 4. There is the Fordson defensive unit. Charles Wilson, again, number 66, the man to keep an eye on. The backers, and they're the defensive backs. Boy, some all-world names on this Fordson club, aren't there?
As you and I struggled before this one started, Mark, we're not used to that. We may struggle a little bit with some of these. Folks will have to have a little patience with us.
Out in the flats to Houghton. And this will depend on the mark. Looks like they will mark him just short of the first down. We'll make it 3rd and maybe 1. Boy, a very short 1.
Good stop on the side over there. Nevada side able to kind of spin the ball, carry around, throw him out of bounds just short of that first down mark. Big play here for the Rockets.
formation, wide out to the bottom of the screen. Dive back, and boy, he runs into the interior of the Fordson line. If he got much, I'm surprised. They will mark him just across the 34, and I think it's enough. It is.
Whew.
Well, he got a foot, and that's what he needed.
That was a difficult foot also, as those three big guys inside, they're the ones that really anchor that defensive front for the Tractors. Charles Wilson, Rabi Hamoud, and Ron Byers, all of them up over 240 pounds, and very, very strong as they work the weights all the off-season, Mark. And so they're not just good-sized people, but they are athletes as well.
Well, the Fordson Tractors picked up a first down on their initial drive. John Glenn mimics that. They'll go 1st and 10. Try the right side, Jeremy Cosby, and tries to pick his way, and he is stormed under. Nevada side, among others, but by the time the tackle was made, there were about 6 blue jerseys there.
Well, once again, Ron Byers over there on that side, Ali Shamout also there to stack things up, make the ball carrier bounce to the outside where Nevada's side was waiting, and he'll get credit for the tackle. But once again, it's those guys up front, Mark, that are just stopping things up as far as the interior and running inside against the Tractors is concerned.
No gain, make it 2nd down 10 for the Rockets of Glenn. This is the John Glenn from Westland, not to be confused with Bay City, which also has a John Glenn. Morrison has time out in the flats into triple coverage on the zone. It's incomplete.
Well, the ball intended out there for Derek Besko leaped high in the air, got his hands on it, but as you said, Mark, surrounded by 3 Tractor defenders and was not able to come down, and the ball falls incomplete.
It'll be 3rd down 10. Fordson and John Glenn both come into this game 11-1. Each club's lost to another football team with great tradition. Fordson lost their opener 14-12 in overtime to DeCora's. Glenn lost to Farmington Hills Harrison 7-6 in double overtime, and Harrison has already won a state title here at the Dome this year. Harrison beat Midland to take the Class A title. Morrison to throw, has good protection over the middle, complete. Ryan Besko carries into Fordson Tractor territory and down to the 44. 1st and 10 Glenn.
Well, a great shot by Brian Morrison. Here you'll see him step back. A lot of patience here by Morrison. Waits, finally sees his receiver, Brian Besko, clear, coming across the middle. Nice catch by Besko, picks up the 1st down.
5:40 still to play in our 1st quarter here from the Silverdome Class AA State Championship game between Dearborn Fordson and Westland John Glenn. 1st and 10 Glenn, double tight end in the I formation, and stepping into the Glenn line was Marwan Talib, the safety, and that'll be encroachment, and 5 free yards for Glenn.
Well, some type of a deal or a stunt defensively by the Tractors, as we see Marwan Talib had come up into the defensive line and stepped into that neutral zone, and immediately, of course, the whistle blows in high school football, and that's a 5-yard encroachment penalty against the Tractors.
Well, as expected, running the football's been tough here so far. Glenn has made a little yardage with the long pass over the middle, and they'll try and throw again on 1st and 5. Home run ball going to be out of bounds. Intended over there for the other Besko twin, Derek Besko. Brian caught a long one over the middle earlier, but it's incomplete. 2nd down 5. Pretty good gambling down.
Well, it was, and the Besko twins are going to draw a lot of attention today, Mark. 3 defenders once again out there. This time it was Derek, the intended target for quarterback Brian Morrison, but the ball well overthrown and out of bounds, so no chance for the completion then. But that does keep the defense honest, keeps those backs out of there.
A Fordson has 9 players right up at the line of scrimmage. And Tark Horn is inside the 35 and looks to have the first down.
Well, we'll wait for the spot, but I think you're right, Mark. I believe it is a first down. Tark Horn is 5'11" and 180-pound senior, and as you mentioned, Mark, was injured, some type of a leg injury in the knee. Might be anything from a sprain to some type of a partial tear as far as one of the ligaments, but he looks pretty strong going, as you described, Mark, north and south. We haven't seen him do a lot of cuts yet and run laterally, but certainly running with power and determination up inside.
Robert Barham, our referee, says first down for the Rockets. They've strung 3 of them together here on their initial drive. 1st and 10, Glenn. We are scoreless midway through quarter number 1. Football, as you can see, the nose just inside the 34 of Dearborn Fordson. Boy, 8 players right up at the line of scrimmage. Flags fly as Matt Houghton tries the right side, and he has a couple of yards before he is punished by Fordson.
Well, Mark, just as that ball was snapped, I was starting to shake my head here, just looking at what you were describing. Fordson with 9 people right up in front of the ball. You're just not going to run the ball with those kind of defenders and that size and that strength, and then you put 9 of them up there. I'm sure that Fordson has just decided that, Rockets, you're not going to run the ball today. We're going to force you to the outside, and we're going to force you to throw the ball if you want to move it offensively. And the Tractors just determined defensively to stop the running game of John Glenn.
Well, as you can see, a 5-yard penalty marched off against the Rockets. They'll try first down again. This time it'll be first down and 15.
Well, in one of those situations, Mark, you don't want against a team that's real strong against the run. Now you've got it with a long yardage situation. We'll see what the Rockets come up with.
Brian Morrison's had pretty good protection back in the pocket when he's thrown. And this time he's drilled. Picked off, though, by Mike Bint, his tight end. And Bint grabs the loose football, is tackled for a loss of about 8 yards in what can only be described as an odd play, Bill. Quarterback Brian Morrison is drilled. Bint, who is back in pass protection, caught it on the fly, tried to take it around right end, and is tackled.
Well, this is a strange one, all right. Watch quarterback Morrison there. Definitely a fumble, but Bint, Johnny on the spot, and of course he's dropped for a loss, Mark, but that could have easily been a turnover as the ball would have been rolling around on the ground with lots of the Tractors running around it. So, not a smart play there by Mike Bint.
The Tractor fans making some noise. Second down, 26 for John Glenn. They're going backward. Little shovel pass inside to Houghton. And he'll pick up 5-10 yards before he's knocked out of bounds. Good play when you know a lot of pressure's coming.
Well, it was, as the defenders were allowed to penetrate that time. Let's take a look at it again. Here you'll see quarterback Morrison with that little inside pitch back to his running back, Mac Houghton, who heads for the right side and down the sidelines, picks up good yardage, but well short of the first down. Still third and about 15.
Gain is about 10 on the play. It has been a very quick first quarter. Both these clubs slugging it out. Morrison to throw. Has protection over the middle. Caught inside the 15 and down near the 10 goes Brian Besko.
Once again, Brian Besko coming from his end position, runs an inside pattern across the middle. What a great catch, and what a hit he takes on the end of it. Morrison steps up into the pocket, delivers the ball on the money, Brian Besko with the reception and just drilled there by the defender. I didn't pick up the defender's number, one of those safeties back there, but Besko hanging onto the ball after a great bit of contact.
Well, one thing I will say about the Fordson defense, they come to hit.
Boy.
First and 10, John Glenn marked the football at the 12 of Fordson. Tarcorn has it inside the 10 and down near the 9. Boy, remember that sequence, Bill, as Glenn converted from, what, 2nd down and 26.
Exactly. They picked up about 10 yards with that little inside pitch play, Mark, and then came back with the pass play for the first down. Excellent bit of play calling. Not trying to get it all in one shot on that 2nd down situation. Got almost half of it. And then we're able to get the rest on the next play. And they're going to call a timeout here.
Brian Morrison was over at the sidelines with head coach Chuck Gordon and ran out and told the officials we need to talk things over on 2nd down and about 7. Chuck Gordon, 16th year head coach at Westland John Glenn. 128 victories, 37 defeats, an Adrian College grad. Jeff Sturgalis, 4th year head coach at Fordson. Nice record himself, 30 and 9. Boy, great crowd here, huh, Bill?
Oh, it's a super crowd. A lot of support for both of these teams. Two great programs again, Mark. We talked early in our broadcast about these teams really not expected to be here in this state final game, but if you look at their programs, you might expect them to be here. This is Fordson's 4th championship game, and they have not won a championship yet. They lost the 3 other occasions that they were here, and Glenn into the state playoffs, and their program obviously not as old as the Fordson program, but very, very strong also. Well, the Rockets have finished talking things over, Mark. Ball's on the 9-yard line, 2nd and about 8. And here we go.
Power I formation this time for John Glenn. Morrison with power to the right, throws the slant in. It's picked off. Michael Sod picks it off. And carries it all the way out to the 34-yard line. Fordson turns away Westland John Glenn. Bill, I think it was tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Well, I was going to say that same thing, Mark. I don't know whether we'll see this. Let's take a look. We will. Here you'll see Morrison drop back, and yes, it definitely was hit.
Ron Myers tipped the ball. And Sod intercepts, carries it out. And big play as Fordson turns away Westland John Glenn. We stay scoreless. Well, good opening possession for John Glenn, but they can't cash in. Ali Bearcat now leads him out. Hands off to Ali's side. Good gainer up the middle across the 40 and near the 42. Bill, we were told before this ball game that folks who play against Westland John Glenn believe that if you're going to beat Glenn, it's up the middle. You can't go outside because of the Besko brothers. You have to go up the middle.
Well, so far, the Tractors are probing up in there on their 2 offensive possessions. Their first plays have been directed towards the middle of that Rocket defense. But I'm not sure you can do that, Mark. Not the way that defensively the Rockets are lined up. They've got as many people up at the line of scrimmage as Fordson did. They've got their 5 down people and anchored at the ends by the Beskos, and then 3 linebackers inside. So there's 8 people right up front. I'm not sure that the Tractors are going to make yardage all day long against that group either.
Well, they try the inside again, get close to the first down sticks, close enough, in fact, for a measurement. Jeremy Cosby, who is the leading tackler for Glenn, makes the stop. And the question is, did he make the stop quickly enough? They are just short. No, they aren't. Boy, the Glenn players say didn't make it, but the officials say, yep, he did. So 1st and 10 for the Tractors. Line of scrimmage, their own 44-yard line. Clock is moving with 45 seconds still to play in this first quarter. Abbas El-Zayed, the 245-pound junior center, leads Fordson out of the huddle. Ali Bearcat, the quarterback, behind him. They fake the pitch from the inside counter, and they're across midfield. Gain of 6 or 7. The freshmen, Kamal Jafer, on the carry.
Well, surprising to see a 9th grader in a state championship game, but once again, some of our spies up here had told us, Mark, we would see that young man, and we'd see him quite often, and he ran that little inside counter there for the Tractors and picked up good yardage, about 8 yards.
5'8", 155-pound freshman, Kamal Jafer. And the quarter comes to an end. Glenn and Fordson, like two big heavyweights, just banging away at each other. And we finish the first 12 minutes, scoreless tie.
When you use drugs, it not only affects your skills, it can also affect your talents, and can even take your life.
I'm an official because I can be part of the game, not just a spectator. I'm involved.
I'm a mentor to the kids so they learn the game
and respect the game. I've enhanced my leadership skills.
I'm more disciplined.
And I've learned to be fair-minded in tough situations. Officiating isn't easy, and it's certainly not for everyone.
But it could be for you.
Call this number below and find out how you can become a sports official in your community.
Make the call!
Mark, you like the description? Two heavyweights banging at each other? Is that about it?
Well, I do, and as that first quarter comes to an end, pretty much what we expected, Mark. Both teams really here to run the ball against each other. We have seen the Rockets throw the ball, and quite effectively, but really they've been forced to do that. I don't think they're doing that by choice yet.
Bearcat leads them up. Little wing T this time. They'll go left side, Ali Saad, and right there again, the leading tackler for Glenn, Jeremy Cosby. He's all over the field.
Well, he is extremely active in there. Jason Fuller also with some good defensive penetration from his nose position caused the ball carrier to turn back inside where Jeremy Cosby was coming from that linebacker spot. And, of course, that's what you want your ends and those defensive tackles to do, funnel everything back inside to the linebackers.
Saad does pick up the 2 yards needed for first down. It's 1st and 10 for the Tractors. Line of scrimmage at the 45 of John Glenn. Michael Saad, great cut as he crossed the line of scrimmage. And he'll pick up another 6 or 7 yards. Just an outstanding cut. Michael Saad and Ali Saad, 32 and 34, are cousins. And this time we'll see Michael, number 32.
Watch the shift of the ball here as he gets to the outside. That's a sign of a good back, Mark, as he shifts the football just before contact comes to the outside arm, gets away from where that blow from the defender will make contact with the ball. Make sure he doesn't lose it. Sign of a good back, sign of some good coaching also.
Fordson winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. 2nd down, 3. They'll run pitch to the short side of the field. They've got the first down. Michael Saad carries inside the 35 and down near the 32.
Well, nothing tricky about that one. There's a little pitch play, Mark, and get a lot of your friends out there in front of you to get around the corner, and successful for the Tractors. They've run inside, and they're now getting outside a little bit. And of course, when you're able to do that, that makes it a lot tougher on the defense. They can't load up in any one spot.
1st and 10, Fordson, 31 yards away from pay dirt. Trying to put the first points on the scoreboard. That's the freshman, Jafer, and looks to have another first down. They're going to
Well, and so the Tractors show us another side of that running game with the counter. And we've seen the counter a couple of times by Kamal Jeffer. And watch it once again now. You'll see action coming to the left side. And then Kamal Jaffer will come through that hole, bounces off of one tackler. Give him some credit. He didn't do that all by himself, but he did a good piece of running after being hit the first time.
Well, he looks pretty tough for a 9th grader.
Wouldn't mind having that young man back for 3 more years.
No. I believe short by, you see how much there. Robert Barham says just about this much.
Just about that much.
About an inch or two. Boy, a lot of different things you could do on this down, although my sense is that Fordson's probably not going to goof around here. They look to be pretty straight up. We haven't seen the big guy Ron Byers in a while. Now Byers is the only guy in the backfield. Michael Sod is lined up outside in a deep slot. Strange formation. Keeper by the quarterback, and I don't know. Right there again, Jeremy Cosby, and it'll depend on the mark. Yeah, they give him inside the 21. He'll have it.
Well, that was an interesting offensive set, as you described, Mark. There were no backs directly behind quarterback Ali Bearcat, and he simply elected to get the first down by way of the quarterback sneak. But it looked like a passing formation, and in the situation that we saw, a second down and about 1, sometimes that is a good time to throw the ball. So good play selection again, changing things up.
1st and 10 Fordson. John Glenn was down even closer than this in the first quarter, was turned away, and Fordson now trying to be first on the board. Michael Sod, the junior running back, carries inside the 15 and down near the 14, a gain of 6. Well, one of the things Fordson's doing very well, Bill, is picking up big chunks on first down. They're making those second down calls a whole lot easier.
And Mark, they're doing it with a number of different backs. This time it's Michael Sod that gets the call. And we've seen 4 different backs carry the ball, and all of them very successful. This time Michael Sod right up the middle for big yardage up in there. Finally dropped by Dave Irwin from his defensive spot.
That's Ali Sod, driven down by the defense. His forward progress is near the 10, and the sticks are just outside the 10. It's first down. Nose of the football is just inside the 10, so first and goal for Dearborn Fordson. I'm Mark Crawford, joined by Bill Brandell from the Pontiac Silverdome Class AA State Championship game. Glad you're with us. 0-0. Glenn and Fordson. Dearborn Fordson knocking on the door. Well, big play. They have, as mentioned, been very successful on first downs during this drive, and this is first and goal. Second back is hit at the line of scrimmage, and Sod on second effort manages to pick up 3 or 4. I think it was Cosby again in the backfield. Got a helmet on Sod, drove him back momentarily, but good second effort, and the gain is about 4.
Well, that's 2 plays in a row, Mark, that Jeremy Cosby has been the first offender into the backfield of the Tractors and made contact with the back, but he's been unable to drive the ball carrier down, unable to wrap him up, and the ball carriers are bouncing off of the big hits by Jeremy Cosby and then going on for a positive yardage.
Second down goal for Fordson. Motion man is Ali Sod. They will pitch wide side of the field. Michael Sod is stacked up and driven down. There to make the stop from his corner spot, Brent Washington. And it'll be 3rd and goal from back outside the 10 near the 11.
Well, Mark, Brent Washington's going to get the credit for the tackle, but the defense as a whole is what made this play go absolutely nowhere. You see penetration there, and then you see a lot of white shirts in pursuit. Nowhere for the ball carrier to cut back inside. Finally has to continue outside, and that's where Brent Washington made the stop. Good defense that time by the Rockets. Big 3rd down play here now for the Tractors.
3rd and goal. They'll throw. There Bearcat rolls. He's in trouble, and he's down at the 12. Fourth down. Fordson, a little bit of a mystery team to us. We didn't get a lot of information on the bill, and so we have no idea what kind of kicking game they have. I see that Nasser Salame has checked in number 11.
Well, let's look at this again. We'll see quarterback Ali Bearcat this time fake the inside run, then rolls to his offensive left side, and there's nothing but white shirts in front of him. Finally brought down by Mike Bent from his linebacker spot. And it looks as though, Mark, we will see the field goal attempt.
Salame, it'll be marked at the 20, would be a 30-yard attempt. Pulls it, and it's no good. And so Fordson and Glenn have both knocked on the door and been turned away. 6:31 still to play first half, and we are still scoreless.
You've seen Comcast Newsmakers on Headline News, and now you can watch them on demand from Comcast. It's easy. Push the on-demand button on your remote, navigate to Get Local, and select Comcast Newsmakers. Then sit back and watch our in-depth interviews with politicians, public officials, and community leaders at a time that's convenient for you. In addition, you can choose to watch our new 30-minute special editions of Comcast Newsmakers, available only on demand from Comcast. Another way in which Comcast stays focused on the community.
This is Comcast Today. We're constantly looking for ways to serve you better.
We're committed to making sure you get the most value for your money, to working hard, to get the job done right.
To making appointments when it's convenient for you. Even nights and weekends.
We're committed to shorter arrival windows.
Typically within 2 hours.
And we'll come to your home when it's convenient for you.
That's Comcast Today. Wait till you see what's next.
Both have come away with nothing on the scoreboard. So once again, it'll be the Rockets with the offensive possession. They'll start at their own 20-yard line, and here we go again.
Ryan Morrison, you see number 6, leads out the Rockets. Tony Tabone, number 51, his center. They will try left side. Tark Horn, busting tackles and breaking into the secondary. Across midfield and dragged down at the 41-yard line of Dearborn Fordson. Well, if there's something wrong with his knee, you didn't see it there.
He looked awful good, Mark, as he went off tackle to his offensive left side. He split through a defender, broken arm tackle, and then there was nobody home. We'll see it. And you'll also notice that the defenders for the Tractors are all right up on the line of scrimmage. And once he gets by the line of scrimmage, as you saw right there, running through that tackle, he's down the sideline. Big yardage, finally tackled by Nazi Abdallah from that safety position. But, boy, just a step or so away from going all the way.
Glenn goes 1st and 10. Scoreless tie, Class AA state championship game. There's Horn again. Left side again, this time about 4 yards before he is stormed under. Among others, Yusuf Mosalam was there to make the stop. It'll be 2nd down and about 6. Well, it has been a test of wills out here, some power football being played between the very aptly named Tractors of Fordson and the Rockets of Westland John Glenn.
And I think what you would expect from the Rockets offensively, Mark, with the Tractors jammed up at the line of scrimmage, when they do get a running play through the line of scrimmage, there's lots of room. Also, they're a little, the Tractors, that is, they are a little susceptible to the pass.
A run again. Tark Horn is going to be stacked up after getting inside the 35 and down near the 33. Looks like he'll be just short of the 1st down mark. It'll be 3rd and about 1 for Glenn.
Well, now that play attacking the strength of the Tractor defense, running right inside the defensive ends, right where those big, strong tackles are, where those inside linebackers are for Dearborn Fordson. Still pretty good yardage on that play, Mark. Brings up the short 3rd, about 1. Power
eye behind Morrison. Tarcorn again, stacked up, and this will depend on the mark. Ran into the back of his tight end, Mike Bint, I think, bounced off Bint, and it's going to depend on where they mark the football.
Well, Mike Bint seemed to get stood up on his offensive block, and as you described, Mark, Tarcorn ran right smack into the back of Bint, bounced off of him, then came back to the inside. By that time, the Tractor defenders had recovered, and there were a lot of blue shirts there ready to meet him. We'll have a measurement, so they're marking him close to the first down mark. We'll have to see.
Well, they keep a lot of records here, Bill, but if they kept a record for most measurements in a game, we'd be approaching it already, wouldn't we? We've seen a bunch of them.
Well, he's got it. Once again, he didn't get it by much, Mark. They're earning every one of these first downs.
Well, we'll keep an eye on the clock as it becomes a key factor here as we march toward halftime. About 4:10 and counting still to play in the first half. Glenn looks at first down from the Fordson 31. Both teams have been in position to score in this ball game. Neither has been able to cash in. Tarcorn again. Left side again, about a yard or two. They're working the left side, Bill.
Well, that seems to be where they want to go, and they may have discovered something over there. I don't think you could say they found a weakness. I don't think there's any weaknesses out there from the people that I see playing up front and at those linebacker positions for the Tractors, Mark. But they have been successful. They're successful getting outside the end to their offensive left side.
You would also say their success has diminished here as the real estate getting tougher and tougher to come by. That first down only picked up 2 yards. It's 2nd and 8. Morrison will throw. Has the big tight end out there, Bint. Wants to loop it toward Bint. Incomplete, out of bounds. It was intercepted by Marwan Taleb, but he was out of bounds, say the officials. And it'll just be an incomplete pass.
Well, the pass appeared to me, Mark, to slip out of the hand of Brian Morrison. As he threw the ball, he was waving for his receiver to go farther downfield. Let's take a look. And as he releases the ball, the trajectory is very high. And now he'll wave his receiver downfield. And then when he throws it up for grabs. And you can see that a defender with a much better chance at getting the ball than was his intended receiver. Marwan Talib actually caught the ball, but the official ruling that he was out of bounds.
3rd down 8 for Glenn. Out over the middle has the tight end Bint and has the first down. He's inside the 15 and down to the 12.
Well,
Boy,
Brian
nice
Morrison
target is Mike Bint.
He is. He's a big target, but Brian Morrison, a lot of poise, Mark, as I'm sure he could feel the defensive pressure, and as soon as he let go of the ball, he was nailed from the side. Let's watch him again. Brian Morrison back into the pocket now, steps up, delivers the ball to that big target, Mike Bint, takes a whack, but the Rockets have the ball down on the 13-yard line.
2:35 still to play in this first half. 1st and 10 from the 13 for Glenn. Morrison barking out the commands. Will pitch again to Tarcorn left side and maybe a yard. Not much there.
And once again, it's that left side that the Rockets are trying to attack. They're doing it with a pitch. They get the guards out in front, try to turn the corner over there. Once again, I'm sure designed because the Tractors have most of their defense concentrated to the inside. 5 down people, then 3 linebackers, all inside the defensive ends.
Our eye again for Morrison. Try a little end around action this time. To get back to the line of scrimmage. yardage, and I don't think he made it.
Well, Nazi Abdallah coming from his safety position to the outside, able to catch up with the ball carrier to the outside. Good bit of defensive foot speed there, as Abdallah had a long way to go in order to catch up to the outside.
Timeout called by the Rockets of Westland John Glenn. They have one remaining. Fordson has all three here in the first half. We have 1 minute, 21 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock in the first half. A scoreless tie. And 3rd down 9 coming up for Glenn.
Well, Mark, I think we're going to get some type of a passing play, which is what the Rockets have been forced to do in these long yardage situations. And the patterns that have been successful for them are those that bring a receiver across the middle. And as we look at the defensive setup for the Tractors, it's obvious why that's working. The cornerbacks are to the outside, and they're up fairly close to the line of scrimmage, but there is no deep center safety. So once a receiver crosses in front of the cornerback and heads towards the middle, if the linebackers move up at all on any kind of a run fake, the middle is open to that crossing pattern. So let's look and see if we don't get that again.
Well, some pretty nice targets for Brian Morrison, as he's got 6'3", 210-pound Mike Bint at the tight end. And then the Besco twins, who go 6'1", who can run the slant. Derek Besco lines up out to the left. Ryan Besco and Bint are the double tight ends. There is no safety, as you mentioned. They'll throw the corner route toward Derek Besco. Touchdown! Well, he gave him the little inside move and went outside. And John Glenn, first on the scoreboard, they lead 6-0.
Well, a great pass once again by Brian Morrison. Throws that fade route. Besco catches the ball over his shoulder. Really good defense out there. Brian Robleski for the Tractors, right where he belongs, but an excellent throw and an excellent catch. And the Rockets get the first 6 points on the board by way of the pass.
Extra point try. Brian Cole drills it through the uprights. And John Glenn takes the 7-0 lead.
Teamwork is working together, even when apart.
Teamwork is setting up the spike.
Teamwork is setting up the slap shot.
Teamwork setting up the jump shot.
But teamwork doesn't stop on the court.
On the ice.
At the net.
On the mat.
Teamwork also transfers into the classroom.
Teamwork is working together.
Well, their passing game, as you've mentioned, Mark, we don't have a lot of statistics on. We know basically they want to run the ball, and we just don't know at this point whether they've been successful in the past. We know their first couple of attempts here in the first half of this championship game, they were not able to complete any pass plays.
Glenn will boot it away. Hewer's kick is fielded inside the 10 by Ali Saad, who jukes and fakes a couple of times and meets some white jerseys at about the 20-yard line.
Well, the last time the Tractors had the ball offensively, Mark, they moved it right down the field. And they were doing it with the running game, as you mentioned. Got it down inside the 10, but only 1 minute, 8 seconds left now in this first half. Not time to sustain a drive as far as the running game is concerned. Really, if they expect to move the ball, get down where they can get some points, they're going to have to throw it.
First down. Well, and I'm sure if you're the Rocket defense, you're aware of that. And you're going to loosen up just a little bit. Fordson will send 3 wide receivers out here, and so it looks like they don't think the first half scoring's necessarily all done. Clock is moving, 45 seconds left. They'll run up the middle. Saad finds some room, has it across the 40 and out to the 45. All 3 timeouts left for Dearborn Fordson, and they'll call one right now with 35 seconds left here. First half.
Well, we were just saying that you couldn't get the ball all the way down the field by running, but if you run like that, you can, Mark. We have an injured player down there, but let's take a look at this run once again. Ali Saad finds a hole over his left tackle, and then a nifty bit of running. He's another one of those backs with the wild legs, Mark. They're up high. Those knees are up high, shifty. It's a 175-pound junior. Boy, some nice running backs for the Tractors of Fordson, and they're coming back next year.
And it's Ali Saad who is down on the field, Bill, being tended to. Didn't see anything happen at the tail end of that play, but he's down, and it looks like the leg. They're working on the leg.
Well, we always hate to see that. Excellent run. Well, we hope that that is not a serious injury, and we hope that we'll be able to see Ali Saad back in the ball game.
That injury on the Fordson sideline is Ali Shajra, fine senior wide receiver and defensive back, broke his leg in a football game in the playoffs. And the Fordson people say he was a good enough player that he means a touchdown in a game like this. He's worth 7 points.
Well, you and I were able to pick up some statistics. One of the rankings in the newspaper talked a lot about him, an all-Metro player, and we were surprised not to see him in the lineup, and then we did find out that he had the broken leg.
Bearcats' first down pass is incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10. 25 seconds showing on the clock here, first half, 7-0. John Glenn leads. 54 yards between Fordson and tying score. Well, it's a huge offensive line that Bearcat is behind. And timeout. Ali Bearcat didn't like something he saw on the defense and steps away and calls timeout.
Well, he had his team offensively all set and then looked over at the sideline and maybe got some type of a signal from his coach. And as you described, Mark, decided that something wasn't right, called another one of those timeouts.
Well, at the end of these 1993 football finals, the Michigan High School Athletic Association will present the Good Sports Are Winners Award. Sponsored by True Value, it honors the school displaying the best sportsmanship with a $1,000 cash donation and a crystal trophy. Last year's winners, Walled Lake Western, the Good Sports Are Winners Award. One of those things that the MHSAA has instituted in recent years that you and I are both very proud of, Bill. Very good idea.
Well, for the most part, Mark, I think that sportsmanship really has its peak here at these state finals. We see some great sportsmanship by the fans, a lot of people traveling a long way, and of course these are very, very emotional situations, but almost always you see great acts of sportsmanship. Teams really appreciate their athletes on the field in these championship games.
Ali Bearcat back to throw. Pumps once, is chased out of the pocket, and is drilled as he gets set to deliver the football, and we'll see if he's sacked or if they'll mark that a fumble. It's a fumble. They're going to mark the fumble up at about the 45-yard line. And it'll be 3rd down and about 11. 12 seconds, all that remain here now, first half.
Well, let's credit the defensive backs for the Rockets for that play, Mark, as quarterback Ali Bearcat just could not find a receiver. Actually had good protection that time, was able to look for his receivers, then had to move out of the pocket, but had plenty of time, just could not find anybody open downfield, and eventually some defenders caught up with him.
3 wide outs here on 3rd down. May well be the last play of this first half. Drilled in the backfield, and the football is stripped away by Brian Besco. And I haven't seen the officials signal whose football it is. Half comes to a close. I have no idea who ended up with the football. Well, I know Besco ended up with it. I'm not sure whether the officials had actually ruled change of possession here or not.
Well, Besco actually stole the ball from quarterback Ali Bearcat there as he rolls over. You'll see him with the ball. At this point, Mark, there's still 6 seconds on the ball, but the clock continues to run with the sack, and so we'll never find out whether the officials really knew the ball was going to be turned over or not.
All right, great first half of football. Glenn 7, Fordson nothing. You're watching the MHSAA Football Finals.
Bear down and buckle up every Thursday at 7 p.m. for Must See Racing, where we deliver a purebred brand of high-powered motorsports excitement that you won't find anywhere else, as we bring you action from the fastest short tracks on the planet. Don't miss Must See Racing right here on Comcast Television 900 every Thursday at 7 p.m. and on Comcast Video on Demand.
Comcast Newsmakers is noticeably different. Here, politicians, public officials, celebrities, and community leaders speak out. The format, 5 minutes, stimulating interviews airing throughout the day, strategically placed on CNN headline news at 24 and 54 past the hour. Comcast Newsmakers, interviews that fit seamlessly into CNN headline news' 30-minute rotation, providing guests the opportunity to speak out about local issues and concerns while appearing on a national network. Comcast Newsmakers on CNN headline news.
This Class AA State Football Championship game, you see the score. Westland John Glenn out front of Dearborn Fordson. 7-0. I'm Mark Crawford, joined as always by the old coach, Bill Brandell. And you see the scoring summary, and hadn't been much so far. John Glenn, Eric Besco took a 12-yard pass from his quarterback Brian Morrison, little corner route. Cole kicked the extra point, and that's where we stand 7-0. Bill, first half stats, what jumps out at you?
Well, Mark, everything pretty much even except for total yards, and the difference coming there in the fact that the Rockets of John Glenn are able to throw the ball, and so far we have not seen the Tractors with the ability to do that. Time of possession, very even. Turnovers, not a big factor in this ball game. First downs, fairly even, and running game really fairly even for both teams. The big difference coming by way of that 92 yards passing for the Rockets and a big 0 for the Tractors.
Bill, we did learn one thing looking at that summary there, and that is the officials did not rule a fumble on that last play because there was no fumble listed under Dearborn Fordson, so they did not assume any change of possession on that final play, first half. Kind of an academic point.
Yes, it is, but you're right. It was interesting that either they had ruled the quarterback was actually down on his back, and of course that would be the ball being dead at that time when it was stolen by the defender there from his hands.
All right, Glenn, you will recall, won the coin toss at the start of the football game. They deferred their choice to the second half. And so to start the second half here with a 7-0 lead, they opt to receive.
Well, as we get this second half started, Mark, I would have to say that the Tractors are going to have to show us a little more offense against this tough defense when they get their hands on the ball. We got a little false start going here.
Well,
don't see that very often.
The right side of the Tractor line took off, then stopped, then the kicker took off, and then the officials blew the whistle.
Well, we'll try it again.
Now Now they say, come on down. Fielded back at about the 5-yard line. Little fake on the reverse, and Cosby finds room across the 40 and out to about the 42. Jeremy Cosby, 5'10", 195, and a senior. Best known, perhaps, as a defensive player, the leading tackler for this club, but has been an effective running back for the team as well. Averaged about 6 yards a carry this year.
Yes, has scored 6 touchdowns in that position for the Rockets, and just brought that kick return straight up the field that time. Nothing real fancy about that other than the fake handoff for the reverse, but good return yardage, good field position to start this second half.
1st and 10. Rockets of John Glenn start at their own 43-yard line, leading 7-0. Tarcorn goes up the middle, and there isn't much there.
Charles
Maybe a
Wilson
yard.
down underneath.
No, there's Charles Wilson there. I'm wrong. There's a lot there, isn't there?
And Charles Wilson just at the bottom of that pile, and the pile went absolutely nowhere. As soon as that happened, I knew who to look for.
That interior 3 that Bill has mentioned for Fordson, very hard to run against. Charles Wilson, 6'3", 285. Rabi Hamoud, 6 foot 245, and Ron Byers, 6'2", somewhere between 240 and 260. Second down, they're going to mark the forward progress out to near the 45, so we'll call it 2nd and 8. Power I formation with 2 tight ends. Tarcorn again will bang across the 45 and out near the 47 as the yards come grudgingly here on this first offensive possession of the second half for John Glenn. And they'll look at 3rd down and still about 5.
Well, a little crossbuck type action up inside by the Rockets offense that time. Fake to the first back going to the offensive left. Comes back to the second ball carrier coming to the right. Still not a lot of room up there, but a couple of yards picked up. About 3rd and 5, Mark, as you described.
Big, active, and noisy crowd here at the Silverdome has enjoyed a very good Class AA football game so far. 3rd down conversion attempt, and nothing there for Tarcorn. Going to be a loss. Marwan Talib on the stop for Fordson, and Westland John Glenn will come out.
Well, a big defensive stop
for the first time. Yep, Rockets have not punted before.
Big defensive stop by the Tractors that time as Marwan Talib comes from that safety position on the stunt once again. They've done a lot of that kind of stuff.
Hewer will punt, averages about 36 yards a kick. And this one's a low spinner, and 2 Tractors converge on the football. And it's carried out to about the 21, maybe 22-yard line by Brian Robluski.
And Brian Besko down to cover on the punt. Good speed by Brian Besko. Comes from that offensive end position on punt formation. Got downfield in a hurry.
Those Besko twins ever leave the field?
I don't think they do, Mark. We've seen them on special teams, and we've seen them obviously offensively and defensively. A couple of seniors. We're glad to see them going to the University of Michigan next year.
That's right, going to play baseball. All right, the Tractors trailing 7-0, go 1st and 10 from their own 21. Michael Sod tries right side, and boy, there's not much
Well,
there.
I don't know what was there, Mark, but Michael Sod just kind of tripped over one of those white paint stripes down there. There really was not a defender in the area. He simply made his cut back to the inside and just fell down. Feet went right out from under him.
Well, closest to the action, Jason Batchelder, number 66, a 220-pound senior. It'll be a loss of a yard. It's 2nd down 11 for the Tractors. They'll try left side. Kamal Jafer, the freshman, has 1st down yardage and more. 18 yards on the carry by the 5'8", 155-pounder.
Kamal Jafer has been exceptionally successful at running this little misdirection counter play. And if you're an offensive coach, you like to draw this one on the board. Just superb blocking up front. The lineman had just each one of the defenders locked up in a block. And as Jafer came around the corner, that wasn't anybody there. What a nice hole.
3 carries, 36 yards for Jafer. There's Michael Saad again. Takes it inside off the tackle spot, forward for about a yard or 2. Boy, this Fordson program is certainly rich in tradition. Last 24 years, they have 18 league titles, been runner-up the other 6 times. And Bill, they have not had a losing season since 1965.
Well, we mentioned a little bit about them being a surprise here in this final contest, but we also have been talking about 2 great programs meeting head-to-head here in this contest.
Saad spins outside, trying to beat the coverage on the corner and can't do it. The cornerback, Brent Washington, is there to drag him down after a gain of a couple. It'll be 3rd down and perhaps 3. Yeah, they not only have not had a losing season since '65, but as mentioned, 10 state playoff appearances and 4th time in the finals. So, yes, a surprise, but then again, no, not really. 2 very good football programs, not just clubs that are having one-year runs at it. John Glenn has been in the playoffs, what, 6 times?
6 times now, right.
Well, another one of those big 3rd down conversions coming up for Fordson. Got the wing to the top. Bearcat will roll, wants to throw. Now he'll try and run. No, tosses it, has an open man. Complete down in Glenn territory at the 44. Ray Maru is 215-pound junior tight end.
Well, Mark, I don't think that's the way the coaches drew that particular pass play up either, but it was effective. Let's take a look at it. Ali Bearcat with the long rollout, then just kind of flips the ball up finally for his big tight end who had finally found an open spot in the middle of that defense out there. Ray Maru catches the ball and picks up the 1st down for the Tractors.
Good job of ad-libbing by Ali Bearcat, because I am convinced he had decided to run that football, then finally counted 6 white jerseys in front of him, stepped back and lobbed it forward. Little stoppage here for an equipment fixed job, as the officials noted somebody's chin strap wasn't all the way plugged in, and so they'll take a moment and work on it.
And once again, another good job by our officials to spot that, making sure safety comes first for our young athletes in these ball games. Once again, our officials do such a great job. Quite an honor to be chosen to officiate in a Class AA championship game, and these gentlemen doing an excellent job.
Bearcat has a man wide open, side. About 12 yards as they penetrate deeper into John Glenn territory. Kind of faked that little cross buck inside that time and then swung it out the flats.
Well, a great bit of defensive work by Brent Washington for the Rockets. 2nd defensive save that he's made here in the last few plays, Mark. Couple of touchdown saves. Thank goodness for the speed of Brent Washington as far as the Rockets are concerned, or the Tractors might be on the scoreboard right now.
Fordson on the march, trying to tie things up. They trail 7-0 here in the 3rd quarter from the Pontiac Silverdome. Senior quarterback Ali Bearcat will give on that misdirection to Jafer again. Turns on the Jets, and he's inside the 10 and down to the 9.
Mark, that play's been going all day for that young freshman, Kamal Jafer, as he comes around the corner once again. Excellent blocking up front. Look at the hole. All of those defenders sealed off, and Jafer just turns on the Jets and gets to the outside, gets the ball all the way down to the 10-yard line. 1st and goal for the Tractors.
4 carries, 68 yards now for Kamal Jafer, 9th grader. 1st and goal, Fordson. Jafer again inside the 5 and fights down toward the 4. And Bill, you just spotted on the sidelines one of the reasons perhaps that Kamal Jafer's in the ball game right now and staying in the game. Ali Saad, who we saw go down with a little leg problem in the first half, is on crutches here on the sideline in front of us.
Well, stripped down, no shoulder pads, and obviously the Tractors will miss him. And we were afraid that injury was to a knee, and he has an ice pack on his knee, and we hate to see that. Fine young athlete, fine young back, forced to stand on the sideline now and leave it up to his teammates.
Second down goal for Fordson. They've been here before and were turned away. Right side, slashing into the end zone is Michael Saad, and Fordson within one at 7-6.
Well, sticking pretty much with the running game, other than that one pass play to Ray Maru, the Tractors have marched the ball smartly down the field here to begin the second half. Finally get the ball into the end zone. Good bit of mixing up their running, Mark. We've seen some misdirection plays, some straight-ahead stuff, and there it's topped off. Michael Saad into the end zone off his right side tackle. Picks up the last 5 yards, does a good job, gets hit before he got in, but got the points.
We know they are capable of the fake. The holder is the quarterback, Ali Bearcat. It's blocked! Huge play. Westland John Glenn, Dave Irwin in the corner. Dives in on the football, blocks the extra point, protects the lead. Glenn 7, Fordson 6.
Well, Mark, Dave Irwin had to come out of a gun in order to block that, because there you can see it. Holy cow, nobody touched him. He was in there, just a solid block. No chance at all for that kick, as Dave Irwin, coming from just inside the defensive end, found a seam and just came right up the middle in order to block that extra point.
As a voice of Michigan's student athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports are supposed to be played.
We are responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
in which interscholastic athletics can thrive.
We believe athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe students in the stands should have fun,
but not take the focus away from the game.
We believe coaches should act as teachers, helping student athletes
develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and be supportive of their child's decision.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports, and respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports while keeping a high level of respect between all those involved in the games.
Feeling we're not done with the scoring yet.
Well, both of these teams, powerhouse running teams, great football. A lot of time left in this one.
Fordson to boot it away. As it bounces into the end zone, and in high school football, that's an automatic touchback. You have no option to run the football out, so we'll bring it out to the 20, where John Glenn will start 1st and 10. It's been a very entertaining AA football championship game. Glenn 7, Fordson 6. And you know, the history of these AA championships have been just like this. There have only been 3 AA title games before this, but I'm recalling a couple that were one-point affairs. First and 10 for Glenn, I formation. Hewers in motion. They'll run left side again to Tarcorn. He'll pick up about 3 out to the 23 before he is knocked down.
Well, Tarcorn hit right at the line of scrimmage, but is still able to move forward and pick up about 4 yards. Once again, one of those backs with that forward body lean and the ability to get every inch available on each play, but a 4-yard pickup, and the running game continues to attack the offensive left side for the Rockets.
The 3 AA finals before this one. Detroit Catholic Central beat King 21-0 in '90. Then Saginaw Arthur Hill over Catholic Central 13-12, and Catholic Central returned the favor last year 21-20. So back-to-back one-point nail-biters coming into this year, and we may have another one right here. Flags fly.
Well, very few penalties in this one. Here we have one, and it looks to be encroachment by the defense. And Ron Byers this time, once again, they're doing a lot of stunning and moving around up inside there, Mark, and that's what causes that. And it's been very aggressive play by those frontline defenders for the Tractors that have been so effective today, and very few mistakes like that.
Well, here's a chance for Chuck Gordon, the 16th year head coach of John Glenn, to gamble a little. He's second down and about a yard. Can take the safe first down effort, or perhaps go ahead and air it out. They'll go right up the middle and get the first down. Late flag tossed into the pile, thrown to where perhaps you've got a face mask.
Well, and a reaction from the Tractors looks as though it will be something against defense, and appears to be a face mask penalty. We're just saying very few penalties. An excellent ball game by both of these teams, and a mistake right there, obviously, with the hand up on the face mask.
Well, the first half, each team one penalty for 5 yards. But a big 15-yarder there will move the football out to about the 47-yard line, where Glenn will go 1st and 10. John Glenn 7. Dearborn Fordson 6. With 2 minutes and 33 seconds still to play in the third quarter. Brian Morrison has tight ends to both sides. Derek Besko split to the top of the screen, and he'll throw to Besko. Dances around but can't get away from the Fordson defenders. Boy, some great fundamental tacklers in this football game.
Well, it's been a great defensive struggle on the part of both teams. Derek Besko, as we've mentioned, an awful lot of talent out there. He's had over 18 receptions so far, and he's got 12 touchdowns, and he catches that pass, picks up about 1 yard, Mark, but you're right, a defender right there, and despite all of the open room, Derek Besko and his athletic ability only nets him about 1 yard.
Second down, we'll call it 9 for the red, white, and blue Rockets. A little pressure coming. Morrison gets it away. Out of bounds. Ryan Besko was open, had to wait for the football, and as he backpedaled to try and catch it, was out of bounds before he caught the football, and from here looked like a great call.
Well, it was, as Besko had his back to the sidelines, was not exactly sure where the sideline was, got just one step too far as he backed up one extra time in order to make the reception. I think, Mark, if he stayed right on the sidelines, he may have been able to jump and catch the ball, but pretty hard to know exactly where your feet are and where that sideline is when you're concentrating on that pass that's coming toward you, and at the same time expecting to take a blow from a defender.
Another third down conversion effort. Third down and 9 facing Glenn. They'll run draw. Tarkorn, first down. Carries into Fordson territory down to the 40-yard line. Gain is 12 on the play. 1st and 10 Glenn.
Oh, an excellent play call by the Rockets this time. And there you see Tarkorn right up the middle as the defenders had split on their pass rush, trying to put pressure on the quarterback in the obvious passing situation. Left a big hole right in the middle, and Tarkorn found it, picked up the first down.
Bill, in the first half, Westland John Glenn on third down, 6 of 6. Converted all 6 third down opportunities. 1st and 10. fake the reverse, and Tarkorn will turn the corner and pick up 7 or 8.
Well, credit some good running this time by Tarkorn. The fake reverse, he got around the outside on the offensive left again, but there was a defender right there. He juked him, made one turn, and let's watch it again. This is fun. Avoids a tackler there, fakes another one there, takes on 2 there, and is able to again get that forward body lean, picks up 9 yards, brings up 2nd and 1.
I don't know if you noticed on the replay, Bill, but had he handed off for the reverse, it would have been a huge loss. Charles Wilson was right there and just flat out drilled the reverse man. We may want to look back at that again here after this play. 2nd down, about 1. And going to be close. Tarkorn carries down near the 30-yard line. Very close. And we may have another measurement here.
Well, we are going to see that again. Let's look for the reverse man, as you said, Mark. Charles Wilson waiting in position for the reverse man as he comes back around.
Watching the measurement here, and it is 1st down.
And here it is now. Watch the reverse. Here's the fake as Tarkorn hangs on, and you're right. Boom, about a 10-yard loss there.
Well, 10-yard loss if you can hang on to the football.
Well, and as you mentioned, Mark, it was a 1st down, and that brings to a close our 3rd quarter.
Westland John Glenn clinging to the 1-point lead, 7-6 as we head to quarter number 4. This telecast is a copyrighted production of Advanced Video Services under rights granted by the Michigan High School Athletic Association and the Pontiac Silverdome Authority. No reproduction or retransmission of the pictures or accounts of this game may take place without the express written permission of the MHSAA and the Pontiac Silverdome.
You don't have to take this, Wendy.
Really?
You're a Comcast digital cable customer, so you can stop your on-demand movie and finish it in another room.
I didn't know that.
Now you know. May I suggest a room downstairs?
Any room on demand lets you start watching in one room, finish in another. Learn more at comcast.com/anyroom.
To be or not to be? That is the question.
To be or not to be?
That is the question.
With cable in the classroom, learning isn't merely to be accomplished, but to be relished, savored, enjoyed, wherever, whenever. Teach your kids and yourself some new tricks. Visit Cable in the Classroom online and discover what learning was meant to be.
7-6, Glenn leads right now. The difference in this ball game, a blocked extra point.
Well, in a ball game that's going by very quickly, Mark, by way of the style of both of these teams. Most of the offense has been the running game, and of course that eats up the clock in a hurry. This one's going by in a hurry.
First and 10 for John Glenn. Nose of the football is on the 30-yard line. Brian Morrison, the quarterback, looks both ways. He has wide outs on both sides. Gives to Tarkorn, and he's hit in the backfield and manages to escape one tackler, but has nowhere to go.
Well, the linebacker, Yosef Mosalam, comes in to make the stop, actually making contact in the offensive backfield. Got good penetration. Once again, an example of how much aggression the two defenses have had all day. They've been very active. They're not sitting back at all. Linebackers stunning. A lot of different types of stunts and twists as the defensive linemen come from different positions. Just good defense and difficult to block.
Second down, 10. Morrison to throw. In the corner, incomplete. Looked like a little mix-up in the pattern there as Morrison perhaps thought somebody would run an out, and somebody read the slant in, and it falls incomplete. Third down, 10.
Well, the two Besco brothers out there as receivers, both in the same zone, not really close to each other, but when the ball was thrown very high and long. Not sure who it was intended for, but the closest receiver was Derek Besco. He was on the outside. Well, Mark, here's that third down situation again.
Third down 10. The Tractor fans in front of us standing up and cheering their defense on. Draw play. Tarcorn won't get it. It'll be fourth down and long, and probably 4-down territory for Glenn. Football is marked at about the 28. The first down sticks stretch out to about the 20, so it's fourth down 8. And I will bet that John Glenn's going to go for it.
Well, the Tractors were fooled by that draw play just a series or so ago. Not this time. Ready and waiting for the ball carrier, Tarcorn, on the draw play. Tripped him up after about a 3-yard gain. Brings up that 4th and 7.
Tarcorn is across the century mark now. 17 carries, 101 yards. Morrison to throw. Over the middle, incomplete. Boy, great athletic play by Nazir Abdallah as it looked for a moment like Derek Besco was open.
Well, Derek Besco at 6'1", coming across the center of the field once again. But Nazir Abdallah able to get over there and get in front. It was a jump ball situation. 2 defenders and Derek Besco up for the ball right on the goal line, and the ball fell incomplete. The Tractors take over on their own 28-yard line.
Well, Fordson, last time they had the football, marched it smartly downfield. They have 10 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. They trail by 1, 7-6. Lots of room. Michael Saad has the first down, gains 11, out near the 40.
Well, a nice bit of running, Michael Saad this time, but I'll tell you, Mark, I could run the ball in that hole up there. Once again, those 5 people up front are just opening tremendous holes in the Rocket front line of defense. Charles Wilson, we've already talked about him, 6'3", 284. Rabi Hamoud, 6 foot and 245. Abbas El Ziat at center, he's about 245. Ali Shamout, 240. John Perez, 6'2", 315. Wow, have they been doing the job today.
First down carry off right side. Tried to follow John Perez. Managed to get a couple 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7 as the clock continues to march. Well, close ball games are certainly nothing new for Fordson. 9 of their 12 games this year decided by a touchdown or less. Have been in a bunch of nail biters. There's the freshman again, Jafer, has 8 or 9 yards, takes it out near the midfield stripe, and we may have another measurement.
And Mark, once again, just absolutely no defensive penetration, and those misdirection plays then being very effective as the backs have the opportunity to find the open spot once all the blocks have been made. Let's look again. Watch up front. Look at the hole here. There's just no defender until the ball carrier is 6, 7, 8 yards downfield, and then momentum carries them even farther than that, and we have the first down measurement.
They've got it. Do you remember this many measurements in a football game?
It seems like we've had a ton, doesn't it? Well, defensively, Mark, I look for the Rockets to make an adjustment here. They're going to have to bring a little more help inside, tighten that defense down a little bit. They've been in a standard 52 set with 4 defensive backs. They're going to have to do some stunning, or they're going to have to bring some people inside and stop this running game.
Ollie Bearcat with the eye behind him. Second back is the freshman, Jafer, has 2 or 3 yards before he goes down. It'll be second down 7. 8:25 still to play here at the Dome. Glenn 7, Fordson 6. You know, as you mentioned the line for Fordson, you did not mention the big tight end, Ray Maru, who is not as big as some of those other guys, but for a high school tight end, 6'1", 215.
That's not bad either. You're right.
Michael Saad near the sticks again as he takes it right side. And those big boys for Fordson seem to be wearing down the Rockets.
Well, offensively, about 40 pounds a man difference between the offensive lineman for the Tractors and the defensive lineman for the Rockets of John Glenn. And by this time in the ball game, Mark, as you're mentioning, that may begin to take its toll. But obviously, the line of scrimmage being controlled by the Tractors.
Third down, long one. Schaefer has the first. Football come loose in there, I think.
Well, I think it's loose, but I think the officials are saying it was down, and there's no fumble on the play. But you're right, the ball did pop out of there for a minute.
Tell you who else deserves a mention, Bill, for Fordson when you talk about blocking in that front line. What about the big fullback who's been leading the plays, Ron Byers, at 240-plus pounds?
Well, he's one of those gentlemen that we've been naming defensively for the Tractors as that middle group that is so big and so strong. And so he comes from his defensive tackle position at about 250 pounds, lines up in the backfield. How'd you like to have that coming at you?
First and 10, Fordson. Clock now marches down to 6:40, still to play in this AA championship game. Michael Saad, right side, nothing doing this time. Right there to meet him was Jeremy Cosby, the senior leading tackler for the Rockets. No real gain.
Well, let's take a look again. Here comes Fordson to the outside now. Good defense. You can see the defenders stringing out the play. And Dave Irwin finally to make the tackle along with Jeremy Cosby from that linebacker spot.
Mark the gain about a yard. It'll be second down 9 for the Tractors. Football at the 38 of John Glenn. Bearcat will throw. Over the middle and incomplete. Flags fly and we may have interference. There were 3 defenders in the area. The intended receiver for Fordson was Roblewski and must have got caught up with one of the players from John Glenn. As Bill mentioned, been a relatively penalty-free ball game, but there's a big one right there.
Very few mistakes in this ball game. Very few flags have been thrown. But as you mentioned, Mark, that's a big one, as that was a pass that really had no chance to be completed. But the contact with the defensive back as the receiver tried to come across the center of the field, called by the official as interference, gives the Tractors a first down, and they're at the 22-yard line.
High school football, that's a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. Down at the 22-yard line now of John Glenn are the Tractors of Fordson. First and 10. Off left tackle, Michael Saad, the junior running back, has a couple more. Attendance here, session 3, 14,034. And it's a noisy bunch.
It certainly is, and they've had an excellent game to watch. 2 great ball clubs, as you've been saying all afternoon, Mark, just toe-to-toe, slug it out. Good football.
Well, every time the football's gotten down here inside the 20, the yards have gotten very hard to come by. Second down some room for Ollie Bearcat. Football was loose inside the 10. The Glenn players say it's theirs. The Fordson players say it's theirs.
Well, we'll wait for who counts here to say who's got it, but it obviously came loose.
And the officials say Fordson.
And it will be a first down, Mark. The quarterback sneak on the play. Let's take a look at it. There you see the big hit in there. The ball was loose, but I think quarterback Ollie Bearcat able to recover himself.
I think it was Dave Irwin, number 14, that came in and put the hit on Ollie Bearcat that knocked the ball loose. But the fortuitous bounce, if you're a Fordson fan, they keep it and go 1st and 10 from just outside the 10-yard line. 4.5 minutes still to play. The freshman inside the 5 and down to the 2 goes Kamal Jafer.
Once again, credit the people up front. I know the ball carrier's Kamal Jafer, but Mark, he's got a lot of room to run, and it's those big horses up front that are opening up that wall. Watch the line surge here once again by the tractors. Ball carrier all the way to the second line of defense before any contact is made. The ball's at the 2-yard line.
Second down. They could pick up a first down at about the 2-foot line. Bearcat right side. I'll tell you, they don't get in.
I'm not sure they even got the first down, Mark.
Michael Saad on the carry, number 32, and he was stacked up immediately. And they're going to mark him down near the 1, so give him a tough foot. It'll be 3rd. 1 foot for the first down, 1 yard for the go-ahead touchdown.
Well, some strong young men down in there for the Rockets, because we've been saying all along they're outmanned about 40 pounds a man down there as far as that front wall for the tractors are concerned. And the Rockets doing an excellent job right there of standing up the offensive line. And then the surge, forcing the ball carrier back after the initial pop up into the line, and no first down, obviously no touchdown.
They stopped play for just a moment as Jason Batchelder had a little equipment problem with his helmet. Now the clock is rolling and we'll go 3rd down. Ollie Bearcat, I formation behind him. Jafer, the freshman, is the deep back. It's Jafer. Hit, second effort, into the end zone. Kamal Jafer was hit before the goal line. Great second effort, managed to get into the end zone, and Fordson leads 12-7.
Well, Jamal Jafer hit at about the 1-yard line, but then second effort and forward body lean, and that positive yardage comes by way of that as he falls into the end zone for the touchdown and puts the Tractors ahead on the scoreboard. Let's take a look from the tailback position. Jafer bounces off the back of one of his offensive linemen and slides on into the end zone.
Well, they're lining up to kick, but I don't believe for a moment they're going to kick here. The difference is 5 points, and a 6-point lead won't do you much. Ollie Bearcat is the holder, the quarterback, and I have to believe he's coming up. He is. And the defense is looking for it. Well, he throws it up in the air, and it's intercepted. I don't think anybody was fooled by that extra point look there. And it's turned away. Fordson leads 12-7.
I was diagnosed with cancer at age 6. 29 surgeries, a 15% chance to survive, not to mention the stitches they lost count of. 5 years of rehab, a 34-inch scar, and 4 doctors that said I would never play again.
Wiseman for 3.
Don't take what you have for granted. Sports are a privilege.
As a graduating high school senior, your school sports playing days come to an end. But as you move on, you can still stay in the game.
by trading in your playing uniform for a new opportunity. High school sports need new officials now more than ever. Officiating is a great way to give back to the game, stay in shape, and it's not a bad way to make part-time money while you're in college. Register online at MHSAA.com and stay in the game. A public service message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association.
But it wasn't going anywhere. Doesn't change what Glenn has to do, really. They've got to score a touchdown. They've got 3 minutes and 8 seconds to try and do it. Ali Bearcat for Fordson getting the crowd going and now charging up his team. Kick is going to be fielded at about the goal line by Cosby, and he is knocked down at the 17.
And great special team coverage by the Fordson Tractors as they come downfield and keep the whole field covered. Everybody staying in their lanes. Just no place for the return to find a seam in there. And the Rockets will have to start at their own 17-yard line. Mark, a long way to go, and just 3:03 left to do it.
Well, the hopes for the Rockets now squarely on the shoulders, or more appropriately in the right throwing arm of Brian Morrison, the senior quarterback. He has thrown for 1,000 yards this year, and he needs about 83 more. Out in the flats, has Cosby open. First down plus a little more as Cosby carries across the 30 and out to the 33, where it'll be 1st and 10 Glenn.
Well, we've already talked about the targets that Brian Morrison has. We haven't mentioned a whole lot for Jeremy Cosby here, but he's got that situation of coming out of the backfield and not really being covered by a defensive back. So that one opened up pretty well for the Rockets.
They'll run. Tarkhorn is forward for 2 or 3 yards. And there are 2 minutes and 15 seconds left, so Glenn can mix in a little bit of running here and might bust something off.
Well, with the possibilities of Tarkhorn carrying the ball, you're right, Mark, and slipping through that on-rushing pass rush that the Tractors are putting on. There's some room in there if he can break loose.
Morrison to throw, has a man in the flats. Brian Besko busting tackles all the way inside the 40 and down to the 38 of Dearborn Fordson.
Well, there again, one of those targets we've been talking about. This time it's Brian Besko. You've got Derek Besko usually on the other side. They're both 6'1". Good drop here by Morrison. There's a delivery, number 27. Besko slips a tackle and then shows a little power running on his own.
Marching down, 140 and counting still to play in this one. 38 yards away from the Class AA state championship, the Rockets of Glenn. Morrison tries to throw the screen, and great defensive play by Nevada side, leaping up and batting the football away.
Well, Brian Morrison is only 5'8". And when he rolls out and gets some of these big defensive people coming in on him with their arms stretched up in the air, he was trying to deliver a little short dump pass that time and just simply did not get it up over the outstretched hands of Nevada Saad as he came from that defensive end position. But he had the screen pass set up, Mark. If he'd have completed that, it might have gone for a little ways.
2nd down 10 for the Rockets. Morrison wants the screen out in the flats. It's Cosby, and he'll lose a yard. Great defensive pursuit over there by number 56, Ali Shamout, from his linebacker position.
And Mark, that was the same screen pass we saw just a moment ago that was batted down, and the screen pass was open, but this time good defensive coverage by the linebackers for the Tractors. They get over to cover the flat area where the screen pass is thrown. There you see the screen set up, but good defensive pursuit. Ali Shamout from the linebacker spot all the way over there to make the tackle on the sidelines.
Well, Shamout flat out red screen and beat the lineman to the spot. 3rd down 10. Morrison in the pocket. Guns it over the middle, incomplete. Would have been the ball game had Wroblewski hung on, but he couldn't. Brian Vesco on that slant pattern in was open. Overthrown by Brian Morrison, and it comes down to this. We will come down to 4th down.
Well, here it is again. Once again, Morrison steps up, delivers the ball, intended over there for Brian Vesco, just over his head. A good chance for the interception by Brian Wroblewski, but just not able to hang on to the ball.
Timeout is called. 1:17 remaining, and you see the most important number on the field right now, and that is 4th down. Glenn has a minute 17, but if they don't get a first down, it's history. 12-7 Fordson leads. Glenn won the first half 7-0. Fordson answered with 2 second-half scores. And right now the Tractors want one more stop out of that defense, and they will take home the AA state championship that has eluded them here in the Silverdome 3 times before. In fact, Coach Jeff Sturgalis said maybe his team a little snake bit here in the dome.
In the dome, right.
The Tractor players want noise.
They've got their foot on the snake right now. It might be that they will end that little bit of a jinx.
Here we go. Glenn must have 10 yards if they want to continue. Morrison scrambling. Loops it downfield. Intercepted. No, out of bounds, incomplete. Doesn't matter. 4th down. Glenn is turned away, and Fordson needs only run out the clock. 1:08 to play. If they run out the clock, the Tractors have the AA state title.
Well, the Rockets, with a valiant effort on their last possession here, moved the ball very well down the field. Got it all the way down to the 38-yard line, but then came up against that tough Tractor defense that has been very, very stingy in this ball game, and they were not able to convert finally on that 4th down situation and turn the ball over. Tractors need only run out the clock, Mark. Just 1:08 now.
Glenn does have 2 timeouts. Ali Bearcat with the I formation behind him will hand off. Protecting the ball is Sod. And immediately the timeout called. 8 seconds went off the clock. 1 minute to play. Well, we want to say a thank you to Jack Roberts, the Executive Director of the Michigan High School Athletic Association, to John Johnson, the Communications Director, to Tom Skinner, our Director here, and a great crew from Advanced Video Service. And we hope you have enjoyed this ball game at home. Been a good one. You and I have been lucky enough to do the Class AA game each of the last 3 years, and boy, it seems like this is the kind of game we've had in AA.
It's been excellent football, and just a good indication of the caliber of the athletics that we have in the state of Michigan, Mark. Great programs across the state. Lots of teams able to make it into the playoffs. Lots of teams with the opportunity to get here. And when they do, for the most part, they take good advantage of it, display great sportsmanship, and obviously some great football skills. These games are just fun to watch.
2nd down 8. Little movement early, and we'll see which side of the football they point to. I think it may have been Glenn, and it was. Fordson, instead of 2nd down 8, will now look at 2nd down and about 3, and converting a 1st down would finish this thing off.
Well, still exactly 1 minute left on the clock, so without a first down, you're right, Mark, they might be forced to give up the ball, but now only 3 yards away from the first down, so I doubt very much whether they will just drop to a knee. They will probably run it up inside and try to pick up that first down.
Saad had the first down. Did he lose it when he went sideways?
No, I think they're going to mark him with the first down.
Late flags are thrown everywhere. But if that's a first down, then this one is all over but the shout. Personal foul is called against Glenn. And Fordson's going to get the first down plus 15 free yards. The yards don't mean much at this point, but the first down should pretty well end this thing. Glenn uses their last timeout, stops the clock with 53 seconds left, and their only chance now is to try somehow to jump on a pile and wrestle a football away.
Well, I'm sure that with the first down now that Fordson will not risk any kind of a handoff, Mark. All they have to do is take the snap, drop to a knee, and should be able to do that no more than 3 times, and the clock will run out in this one, and we will have crowned a new Class AA state champion.
Coaching staffs are on the field and talking with their teams, and I am sure the conversation in the John Glenn huddle is about somebody get a hand on the football and let's strip it. And in the Fordson huddle, you would think, as you said, it's let's just get down on a knee and let this thing end.
I think also both coaches reminding their young men that this has been an excellent contest and let's make it end that way. No more flags should be thrown and tempers should hold. Both teams can be extremely proud of their accomplishments this year, and we have fine athletes on the field. You don't want to finish a contest in a state championship by losing your cool.
Bearcat takes the snap, goes down on the knee. They will have to take one more snap, and then this one will be over. I'll tell you what. The Rockets are coming through. They don't want this season to end.
Well, the Tractors obviously trying to just simply run out the clock by putting a knee down. And you're right, the Rockets wanted one more chance, and they're not going to get it.
Ali Bearcat, number 12, celebrating with his teammates as the Tractors of Fordson end their jinx here at the Silverdome after 3 unsuccessful efforts. The Tractors are your AA state football champions. Fordson 12, Westland John Glenn 7. Boy, what a wonderfully played football game, Bill, and really very entertaining.
Well, as you've been saying, I guess it's kind of an old cliche, Mark, but there were 2 heavyweights out here that just slugged it out in the whole afternoon. And obviously 2 excellent football teams as this game just went up and down the field with teams moving the ball on the ground and just playing very fundamental, sound, excellent football. And you have 2 teams once again that can be extremely proud of their effort here today, and of course all of the efforts that it took to get them this far and get to the Dome. A great ball game, typical Class AA football. Some of the best football players in the state, many of them will go on to play college football. And right now, I'm sure the Rockets are not feeling real proud of themselves, but in a few moments they will.
Bill, the game really seemed to turn on that big offensive line that we talked about in the first half. We thought perhaps at the half that the difference was going to be John Glenn's ability to throw the football. The real difference, I think, turned out to be Dearborn Fordson's big offensive line finally just wearing down defenders for the Rockets.
I think that's an excellent analysis, Mark. As we started the second half here, I expected that the Tractors would have to throw the ball and be successful at it. As it developed, they did not have to do that. They simply took over that neutral zone with that huge offensive line, opened some gaping holes for a lot of different backs that were able to take advantage of it, moved the ball smartly down the field, and just banged it on into the end zone on 2 different occasions to get enough points on this board to overcome that first 7 by the Rockets.
Across the state, high school game officials are making the right call through Officials for Kids, a fundraising partnership between the Michigan High School Athletic Association and Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. Participating local officials associations are also committed to programming at CMN hospitals to help improve the quality of children's health care in Michigan. For more information about Officials for Kids, visit officialsforkids.com or the MHSAA website.
High school sports are one of the greatest privileges young people enjoy, and these educational programs depend on referees.
You can never have too many registered officials, and now the need is even greater, especially in basketball and volleyball.
If you're already a registered official, the MHSAA will offer a discount if you register for basketball or volleyball for the first time this year.
To register or for more information, please visit the MHSAA website. Make the right call and pick up a new game.
The kids need you.
Well, there's some celebrating going on in the field as these Fordson Tractors have won mythical state football championships before, but have not won it here at the Dome before today. And those young men, a dream season for them. This their 10th football game settled by a touchdown or less, and this time it's for a state title, 12-7. And you see Joe Lake, the assistant principal from Grosse Pointe South, who will present the trophies here. First to your runners-up from Westland John Glenn. The Rockets, who, as Bill mentioned, are certainly disappointed to have gotten here and lost in the state football finals. But as we say each and every year, there are about 700 Michigan high school football teams sitting home on this day of the finals, and very few that get here. And as they look back, they will recognize what a wonderful accomplishment this is to have played for a state football championship.
Well, that's an honor, Mark, and a thrill that these young men can kind of put in their own personal little trophy cases and memory books. As you mentioned, an opportunity that not too many schools get, not too many individuals can say that they played in a state championship game in the Silverdome. And these two teams represented themselves and their schools very well, and can be proud of all of the accomplishments they've had this year.
Celebration here at the Silverdome for Fordson High, your Class AA champions. That will do it from the Pontiac Silverdome, where Dearborn Fordson is your Class AA champion, defeating the Rockets of Westland John Glenn 12-7. For Bill Brandell and our crew from Advanced Video Service, I'm Mark Crawford. So long, everybody.